Hello, I'm Mary Jane, and welcome to my tiny desert abode. It's a gorgeous day today, and I'm still here in the artist colony. I imagine I'll be here for several more months, but it's totally gorgeous here, and it's great. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm talking about all things tiny, personal finance, how to live as an artist in this day and age. And today I kind of wanted to tackle this mythos. Nobody wants to work anymore. It's not true. But, let's talk about it. So, immediately the adjectives that come up are entitled, lazy, unmotivated. I mean, those are just to name a few. But this is not new. It's been around since the dawn of time. Even Socrates would talk about, oh, young little, chicken little, to never do anything. Well, I did read I did read his stuff. He didn't say it just like that. But everybody has always blamed the generations before them of not putting in enough. And it's simply not true. But today, we have a bit of a sort of a double whammy with the increasing rate of inflation that is happening so much faster than it did in previous generations that are making these claims. So the truth of that is that in the last 10 years, there have been huge shifts in the labor market. So I was one who, I worked a lot of survival jobs. So I was an actor, and I still am, but I was going through school plus being an actor, so I was always working this very menial survival job. And I never had just one job. I mean, I had multiple jobs and balancing these jobs and trying to make it work. And it was very difficult. It's physically hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. It's hard to have free time. Like, I never felt like I really had that. And so now that I'm older and I'm in a different situation, like, I do take advantage of my free time. And I do take advantage of actually having weekends or insurance. Those were things that were not afforded with those kinds of jobs. So let's get into it. So yeah, everywhere you go, you're going to be signs. You're going to see signs of, we're hiring. We're now hiring. Or you'll see, oh, my favorite, or when you get to the door, and it's like the handwritten note with all the bad grammar. It's like, apologies for being slow. Nobody wanted to work it today. So these are the people who showed up. Let's be good to them. It's not that people don't want to work anymore. It's that people don't want to work. Nobody wants to really work. I mean, if you wanted to do it, you would do it as a volunteer. It's volunteerism, which is very different than being a worker and trading time and skills for money, right? So, people want to be busy. Intrinsically, people want to be productive. And so that's what you find are people that work really, really hard just because internally they work really, really hard. But those people, like myself included, I no longer show up for a job. I no longer wait tables, I no longer bartend, I no longer cater, I no longer do all those things because I don't have to. Like, in the pandemic, I was able to transition into a quote-unquote real job through the power of the internet and remote working, which changed everything for a lot of people. So a lot of people that worked in those jobs, a lot of people that were in that particular labor market are gone. Because, when we were bitching about, I don't think I can say that word. When we were saying, like, this isn't okay how we're being treated, they were like, well, if you don't like it, go find something else. And then we did. And so, for people to be like, well, see, they just don't want to work. It's like, no, you told us, go find something else. And we did. So, yes, people want to be busy. People intrinsically want to work. It's just that trading your time for labor has become almost pointless. To the point that if you work some of these jobs that mostly have the 4 hiring signs up, you still can't get a roof over your head. by yourself. It would take multiple people living together to be able to afford the 3 times the rent that's needed. It's not that long ago that people could have graduated from high school and found a job, and land themselves securely in the middle class and work towards a pension and immediately have health insurance, and perhaps it was a one worker household and the other parent in the family was stay at home. That doesn't really exist anymore. Like, you have to be at a certain threshold to be able to do that, and it's it's very unattainable on a high school or equivalency education level at this time. So it's not the same when people say, well, it's like, I'm comparing this to this. It's apples and oranges. It's very different, and it's happened quite quickly. So inflation no longer supports a roof on one income, and that's just a sustainability issue. So you see a lot of these people post, like I saw one for a nut company, and it was like the Circle Nut Company, and the post wasn't about the job. It didn't list how much the job paid. It didn't list any benefits for the job. It literally was like, don't show up if you're lazy, don't show up if you have car issues, we'll give you a schedule, but don't ask for any days off, don't get sick, blah blah. So it's, where is it any incentive? Like, you haven't said anything about what the job would offer anybody. You're already criticizing pre-applying people. So a lot of it has to do with a generational shift, where those of us who had done those kinds of jobs don't want to work for people like that. And even if you do, it's still not enough to even get an apartment. So why? It's so minimal what it's offering, then what is the point? So, a bachelor's degree. I used to be a teacher, and the push was college, 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 college. All kids must go to college, which is not true. It's not true at all, but that was the push federally. So now you have all these people who have gone into school and gone into debt. They cannot pay it back. So even if you finished, even if you got that bachelor's degree, the kinds of jobs that are out there that require a bachelor's degree are what the starting jobs used to be for people who graduated with a high school diploma.